Frozen and Hannah Montana. Is that right? Did I get that right?
That was the plan, but I got a little sick, a little cold. I feel self-conscious.
No, that's
So, sorry, guys.
You know what? We forgive you. It's okay. We can skip the singing this time. You guys, I gotta say, I am such a huge fan of the Guardians movies, and I rewatched Guardians 2 on the plane, crying on the way here because it is just one of my favorite films. I want to know, starting with you, Sean, you had such a larger speaking role in this one, and then also you did so much work with Rocket. How was it to essentially play two characters in the movie?
I was very busy.
Yeah.
And, the days where I'm playing both characters can be really tricky. Because there's a few scenes in the movie where both Kraglin and Rocket are in.
Well,
and we would just shoot around it and do it from both sides. And sometimes I'd I couldn't crouch down as Rocket in the Kraglin jumpsuit, so I'd be doing wardrobe changes and everything like that. But fortunately, there's not too much of that. But it was great. It was a great experience.
Well, for those who don't know, I want to kind of paint a picture. Obviously, Bradley Cooper is the voice that everyone hears, but during the filming process of not just Guardians but Infinity War, you were actually playing Rocket, voicing the character and acting the character, so that the actors aren't forced to interact with just a little tennis ball or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I play Rocket on set, and my job is primarily two things. I'm there for the other actors, so that when they're performing the scene, that they're not looking at a tennis ball on a stick or an empty space. They're working with another member of an ensemble to create a scene. And then I also provide a reference for the visual effects team when they get into when they start animating Rocket. They have a visual reference for how the character's moving, where he's looking, what his hands are doing, and a lot of that kind of thing. And then later on in the process, when they have a draft of the character, Bradley Cooper then goes into the booth, and he's got the scene sort of set out for him, and he completes the whole picture. So it takes a team of people to create Rocket.
It definitely does, and I mean, I think that it's such a smart choice to have done it the way that it has been executed, because it makes a huge difference.
I agree. It keeps me employed, so I agree.
Well, that's
smart choice.
I don't think that would be difficult either way. Dave, Drax the Destroyer is such a great character. I mean, so literal. About the outfit hurts my nipples, and then later in the movie when the suit is put on, you're like, it's just phenomenal. How did you find the voice of Drax?
Honestly, through James Gunn. Drax's voice is really James Gunn's voice. I'm just his muse. And I actually think he writes for Drax just to amuse himself.
I agree.
It all comes from him, and I think, I hope he's not upset, but the whole sensitive nipple thing actually.
I know.
Tell the story.
It's because James Gunn has sensitive nipples. So he's just getting a laugh out of me, but I think a lot of times you just find so much amusement in Drax, and we've talked about this before, we talked about it earlier. James he gets really excited about it, even when we're performing stuff he's written, he's watching us, and we can hear him laughing off set. But when it comes to, I think, Drax, in particular, he just gets such a kick out of him. And I get a lot of knowing that I'm doing a good job by gauging it from his laugh. And he loves to write for Drax, and he thinks Drax is hysterical.
And you're so funny. Dave's always, he's such a humble guy, and he's always giving credit to other people and saying it's James and stuff, but I think Dave's so great in the role, and I think also that when my brother writes, he can hear your voice in his head when he's doing it, and he knows how to write for your cadence and that kind of thing. And it's like great collaboration.
And that was what we were saying earlier. We were talking about that was one of the luxuries we had for the second film. As he wrote specifically for us. He really knew us as people and as performers, and he really and the script was just tailor-made for us.
And if I can say something about Dave's nipples as well.
Please do.
What's funny thing about that line is that line was in the first movie where Drax says, he's like, I've got sensitive nipples, and Dave was like, I really don't want to say that, man. He didn't want to do it, and he's like, no, you have to, man. It's in the script, you have to do it. He's like grumbling, and he's like, oh man, this sucks, and like and then it got cut from the movie. And that's that little moment didn't make it in the movie. He thought he was off the hook. And then the very first scene of the second movie, he's like, oh no.
But let me tell you how that initially happened. So we were over in London for the first film, and this was never in the script. So we went for rehearsals. We were there for rehearsals. So we go, we're sitting there, we're reading our lines, and I'm reading through my lines, and I see it, and I was like, I don't remember this being in the script. And I'm looking up at James, and he's sitting there going. I was like, I don't remember this being in the script. You said, this because I just wrote it last night? And as soon as I said it, I had the sensitive nipples. He just bursted out in laughter. Like,
It's the best moment, and it's like one of my favorite moments in the movie. And no matter how many times I see it, I still laugh.
but I actually don't have sensitive nipples. I mean, they're kind of like the makeup, they're ripping off my nipples. If I had sensitive nipples, I'd be in real trouble.
That's good to know.
That's TMI, all right? It's weird. It just got weird. Sorry.
So, the Drax character has a different origin story in the comics than is in Guardians. So did you, when you were originally cast, did you know of the origin story? Did you have knowledge of the character previously, or was it just fresh, clean slate? How did you approach?
I had no idea. I wasn't familiar with Guardians. I wasn't familiar with Drax. I got these sides. It just made no sense to me. I was all freaked out because I knew it was a big audition. My agent was telling me, well, it's a real long shot anyway. And so I could be
Great agent.
And then, but I was talking to my acting coach, and he was so thrilled about it. He's a huge comic book geek. He was like so excited. He was like, look, just go and do some research on Drax and come back to me after you've done some research. And I went and I researched, and there was so many different versions of Drax throughout the years. And there was really just one, it was a picture, it was a visual that I saw of Drax, and I just connected to it, and I thought, I can do this. I know this guy, I can do this guy. And then that was it. It was one picture that I just latched onto.
And I want to jump in too and point out that like it is funny, but it's true. Dave was a long shot to get that role when he auditioned originally, and it's a testament to how awesome he is and what great audition he gave over and over again. And, and he beat out a lot of great actors and people with much longer pedigrees and resumes by being the best person who came in, which is really great.
I mean, that's kind of what makes Guardians so special, is that not only is it an ensemble cast, and you can tell off screen you guys all get along, but there's...
Except Rooker, but go on.
Right.
Rooker.
Well, he's not here this weekend, so... and Yondu's dead, so...
We all just don't like him.
I actually really like it, but anyway, the ensemble cast, and the thing is, there's not that like huge standout one, star. Everybody really seems to work together. It seems to be what makes the movie special and really work. How was reporting to Infinity War for you guys?
It was, I think it was like, first of all, I have to preface everything by saying, I can't say hardly anything about Infinity War. It's like, I don't want a poison dart to shoot me in the neck.
It's like the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Like, is anybody from Disney around? I think it was both. It was comfortably different and the same. It was different in that it was a new experience and new directors and new team of people. But it also, as David said, it's like we got on set the first day and it was the Guardians, and and it was basically just us the first, mostly for the first few days, and that felt comfortable, and and my brother wrote large sections of the dialogue for the Guardians, so that felt comfortable as well.
Yeah, that's what it just came out that he did that. And I thought that was so smart, especially the Russo brothers, to allow him to do that because it kept the continuity of the characters.
I mean, that's the great thing about this is the Russo brothers. They're just awesome, and they were really encouraging. And they didn't want us to be their versions of the Guardians. They wanted us to be James Gunn's version of Guardians of the Galaxy. And so that's what it was. It was getting over that initial fear at first of not knowing. And then stepping in and seeing that they just didn't want us to change us. They were actually very encouraging. They wanted the Guardians from Guardians of the Galaxy. They wanted to recruit that over. And when we were there filming, it was just us. And it was like our group as usual. The only thing missing was James Gunn. But it really always was like somebody joining us rather than us joining the Avengers. Because we outnumbered them.
Dave, what drew you to acting in 2006 when you transitioned?
It's not a really interesting story, but I was wrestling at the time, and I had done a film. Oh man, this is going to get really weird. I had done a film for a friend, and it's so funny because, all right, so first of all, on that film, I realized that I was really bad at acting, and I really wanted to be. I know it sounds weird, but I thought it was going to be easy. And I realized that it was really hard, and I was really horrible at it. And I was sitting there, and I was self-conscious, and I was embarrassed. And I left that film thinking, God, I really wanted to be better at this. I wanted to do some more acting. And with wrestling, I was under contract with them, and they said, no, you need your own shows, and this is what you're going to do. And they're going to send other guys to off to do movies. And I said, well, then I'm going to leave. I feel like I should have the opportunity to go outside the company if you're not going to use me for anything within the company. And they said, no. I said, and so about 9 months later, I packed it up and started auditioning. But it's so funny because that first film now, and this is relevant now, but that first film where I was feeling awful and self-conscious and embarrassed, because the girl playing my topless girlfriend sitting next to me was actually Stormy Daniels. Sorry,
I've never heard of her wife.
I'm going to make it awkward myself in here today. That's my mission. But yeah, so anyway, just to make it even more weird, that was my first real experience on film.
And then you just sort of dedicated yourself to learning the craft and sort of fell in love.
I had no interest in being a movie star. I've never really been that guy after the kind of the glitz and glamour and spotlight. I wanted to be a good actor, and I really wanted to be a good actor. It was just became an obsession. And that's really how it happened for me with wrestling as well. Originally, after I was 30 something, I was looking to make money. I was broken, but then I just became obsessed with wrestling. I would have done it for free, and it's the same with acting. I just fell in love with it. I'm still to this day, I'm obsessed with it.
Well, I'm telling you, you're a phenomenal actor. You're awesome. Do you guys have questions for Sean and Dave? Line up in the aisles, and we'll try to get through as many as we can. Okay. And while they're lining up, is there a scene in particular from Guardians 2 that stands out as being memorable to film? I mean, there's so many great scenes. You were talking about the end when you're with Rocket and Craig and Craig.
I have one.
You do?
Yeah, and it's weird because a lot of times when I get asked questions like this, it's hard for me to, how are you feeling? Good one, I have a few favorite. On that film, there's...
You go ahead. Yeah, that's a little bit down. Go ahead.
The scene we did when we were around the campfire, for some reason, I loved filming that. I loved watching it on film. But it was just a great time. It was really comfortable. There was a lot of really funny dialogue that didn't even make it into the film. But it was just like a couple days of just sitting around and just kind of riffing and just having a lot of fun. It was very relaxed. It was great.
I would echo that. And the set was really cool.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like, it felt like we were in the middle of the woods in a lot of ways because there were all those trees around.
It was just really cool.
Yeah, it was cool, and I didn't have to eat as much Jello as you got.
Jello.
Yeah, Jello.
You could have wrestled with Jello.
I know. Yeah.
I also like your scene at the end, actually when the credits are rolling, where you're playing with the arrow, and
Oh, yeah.
that is
Yeah, that's a lot of
hilarious.
fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start over here. Hi.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I'm from Wisconsin, and I have a question for both of you. So in the stinger at the end of Guardians 2, like we saw Groot, going through like these tough teenage years, and I think that what's so great about Guardians is that they're like this dysfunctional family. So what role do you guys see Drax and Rocket playing in, like, as a father figure, or like the crazy uncle, or like the dysfunctional friend who's enabling his bad behavior? Where do you guys see those characters?
To me, like, I would pitch Rocket as like the grouchy uncle. He's like a grouchy, surly uncle. And Drax is just, yeah, he's just like, one of the siblings. Little kids. There's a lot of innocent. I know it sounds weird, but there is a real big innocent factor about Drax. There's a very childlike demeanor to him. And I know that seems weird, but I think so. I see him like that. I think he interacts with his other siblings that way, especially Groot.
Well, just because he's so literal and and kind of straightforward, black and white.
Yeah, so there's a certain innocence to him.
And I think also, like, one of the things I really like about the second movie is Rocket's arc from feeling like an outsider to feeling like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm with these people, but I don't know that I'm really part of the family. So by the end of the movie, feeling like, oh, these really are my people.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Spencer from Wisconsin, and just want to say love both your work in the Guardians movies, and Sean, especially when you cheer the fireworks at the end. My whole family just kind of loses it at that point, so I just wanted to say that. So my question is, going into Infinity War, without any spoilers or anything obviously, but just what character, either from the Avengers or other Marvel character, were you excited for your character to interact with?
I don't even know if I can answer that.
We can't. I mean, I can't say any of the people that I've worked with on Infinity War. I guess we could say Thor because that's in the trailer that's been released. But we can't really say much. I can say that I was very excited to meet all of those actors. Regardless of who. We actually filmed with or didn't film with. Like, meeting those people was a lot of fun and really cool, and like they're all legends, I don't know. Ask me after the movie, man.
Yeah, you got like 3 weeks, then you can ask him.
For me, it was Downey. I was like, I've been a fan since I was a kid, and I was really excited and hoping for this for the years. And I have to say that, so I got to the last Avengers premiere in London. I was there shooting Spectre, and I got to that premiere. Thank you. And Robert went out of his way to come up to me and tell me how much he loved the first Guardians, and that like meant the world. That was like a surreal moment for me. That was like a big deal. And I was thrilled. I couldn't wait to get on set with this guy. I just love him, and he's a sweet, sweet person, and he's so very talented. So that easily Robert Downey Jr. for me.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, Julian from New York. How you doing today, Batista?
Good, how are you?
I'm wide awake. Now, with WrestleMania happening within the next few days, I would suggest a good match for you in the future. Batista versus Brock Lesnar. What do you think about that?
Never happened. I have one match left that I'd like to do, and I would end my career with that. Or I'd like to be a full run, and when I say full run, I mean like maybe 3 pay-per-views and a bunch of house shows, because I just really love house shows. But it would be with Triple H, and it wouldn't be with anybody else, and they know that. And unless they give me that, I just won't go back. I'll call it a day, call it a career. But that's what I want. No, either don't go back and do that, or I won't go back.
Thank you. I've been a huge fan of yours for over 10 years.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name is Shiku. I'm from Indonesia, but I'm currently studying film here. I love you, did Batista, the man with the iron face. And I also saw you on Spectre and the Daytona 2049.
Thanks.
And as for the Guardians, probably my favorite scene with you is when you making you were laughing at when Mantis said to Chris Pratt's character and Gamora, she said something about sexual law. I think that was my favorite scene. My question is that I actually have two questions, but my other one is for Infinity War, so I don't want to say it. But I know that Sean Gunn played the stand-in for Rocket in the first two Guardians and then for Infinity War. I just want to ask who did the stand-in for Groot in the first two Guardians of the Galaxy films? Is it Vin Diesel? Is he there?
No.
No, we should. The first Guardians, there's a Polish actor named Christian who was playing Groot on set, and then in the second movie, we were all upstaged by air. There was nothing for Baby Groot.
Yeah. One of my favorite characters.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your questions. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Chris from Omaha. Dave, dope shirt. Yeah, probably. So, Dave, you told a story on either JR or Chris Jericho's podcast about going in and trying to lose some weight before going in for the bench. You're a pretty big dude, and they told you to put some on, and you were like, great, I'm gonna go hit the bench press.
Right.
So, I thought it was a cool story. I was curious, going from London to coming back and filming domestically, how you balance being on set up against diet, exercise, and things like that.
It's just weird. It was something I've always done. I had to do it with wrestling. I just learned to do it. And I have my good days and I have my bad days. And it's just something that if I feel like I'm gone too long without a workout, I'll start doing push-ups in my trailer. I start to get desperate. And it's also like it's a mental thing. It's a therapeutic thing for me. So I just need some form of exercise in my life. That particular time with Guardians is because my first, initially I was trying to lose weight because I could not find jobs acting. And I was trying to blend in more, and I thought maybe that's the answer. I'll try to get smaller. I've been 300 pounds most of my life. And so I was trying to literally starve myself, and I stopped lifting weights. I was just doing anything I could to get smaller and smaller. And then I go in and, audition for the role of Drax, and they say, oh, we'd like you to be more muscular. You got it.
It's funny, I remember there was a moment on when we were hanging out on set on the second movie, and Chris Pratt was saying how much he loved fishing, and he said, he's like, yeah, sometimes I just feel like, I could be happy just fishing all day, every day, and I'd be happy doing that. And Dave said, yeah, that's how I feel about training and working out, and I was like, what? I was like, that's how I feel about drinking and gambling.
Sean, you have to keep up your physicality too, especially if
that's true.
Yeah, what does your routine consist of?
It's true. I do a lot of stuff for my legs when I play Rocket. It's like it can get really hard on my feet and on my ankles because I spend a lot of time crouching and a lot of time folded.
He walks around like this all day. You know how hard that is?
Yeah, that's impressive.
And then he sits. What's that crazy way you sit?
Show us the crazy way you said it.
What is the what are you talking about? It's like this. Oh, yeah. Like this?
Sits like that.
This is actually very comfortable for me.
You have very open hips.
But I do. I kept myself in really good shape for the second movie, and then less so for Infinity War. I don't know. I thought it wasn't going to be as much time or something, and then it was, and I was just like, okay, the price for it. But
well,
getting back in shape.
That's an excellent question. It's tough to work those hours and keep the physique up either way. Hi.
Hi there, Teresa from Michigan. My question's for Sean. Whose antics are more fun and insane to play, Rocket's or Kirk?
Oh, goodness. Good War Girls fans, thank you. They're certainly very different. I mean, those characters could not be more different from one another. I don't know. I don't ever compare the characters I play. I sort of love them all for different reasons. It's like, after a while, when you're acting, the roles you play become like children. in a way where it's like you don't pick a favorite. You love them for different reasons, and so I don't know. I love both.
Thank you.